Hi everyone, Chrissy here. I am going to be doing another Elvie video. This time I am doing the Q&A video for the Elvie pump. So what I did was I went ahead and made a post inside a group I belong to on Facebook, Elvie Pump Tips and Support. If you're not in it, I'll leave a link below. It is a great group to join. I put a post in there asking what kind of questions you guys want me to film, and a bunch of you answered back. So I went ahead and I wrote them all down, and I'm gonna go ahead and go through them all right now. Hopefully I can help some of you guys out. So the first question is from Julie G and Katie Lynn. They asked how quiet the Elvie really is. And me personally, I think that it is very quiet. I work in an office, and a lot of the times my office is pretty quiet, and I have been in close quarters with some customers, and nobody has ever heard it. I hear it, but I think it's because I know, and it's what I'm listening for. But nobody has ever like said anything to me or looked at me weirdly. Maybe if anything, the size that I become when I put the pumps on, but never anything about the sound. But I will let you hear it anyway, just in case you haven't heard it before. So that's what it sounds like. It's really not that bad. And also, once it's inside your bra and kind of covered up and everything, I think it's very, very quiet. Next question I have is Aaron Winters asked about my leaking experience and how much you can lean. My tip for this is to go ahead and, if you're new at the pump, go ahead and get used to it. And if you can possibly kind of check in on yourself, how quickly you are filling up the bottles. So, in other words, put it on, and then maybe you can go into the bathroom after 5 minutes or so and see how far up you are filling the bottles. You will kind of already know whatever pump you're already using. If you're an oversupplier or if you like empty very quickly, then you might want to be a little bit more careful with the Elvie. I am an undersupplier. I was a just enougher, and I'm like barely enougher sometimes. So I put this on for a full 30 minutes and I still won't get that much. I end up getting maybe an ounce, 2 ounces, possibly if I'm lucky. So I am allowed to move a lot. I wish I had some water or something to show you guys, but basically the further up the amount of milk you have in is going to limit you as far as how you can tilt. If it's low, you have a lot of give in either direction. And if you quickly bend down and kind of come back up, you shouldn't have a leak either. One thing I did notice, a lot of people that do have leaks, make sure that you are pinching this before you get started on your pump session. Sometimes after cleaning them and drying them and everything, they'll just kind of get like stuck together. So you just want to pinch it and just make sure that it's free opening up. And that might save you some leakage. It's definitely not like the Willow. I guess with the Willow you can do yoga and things like that, but I move around vigorously at work and I have never had a leak. So what else? Oh, Hunter Larson asked me my put together speed. I do have another video on this. I'll leave all my other Elvie videos linked down below. I think I have about 4 or 5 different Elvie videos I've already filmed, and I am in the process of filming my tips part 2 video because my first one went on 24 minutes long and I still have so many more tips to share with you guys. But my put together speed is pretty quickly at work. I have a video on it showing my routine, and I think the best tip I can give to you for putting it together quickly is just making sure that you're putting in the bottle first and making sure that that duck bill is not tucked underneath the pump itself. It needs to be up. That is probably one of the biggest suction issues you can find, and when I was new to it, a lot of times I thought that the suction issue was here and that something was wet here. So I was constantly flipping this on and off, like, what is the problem? This is completely clean, and cursing at it and everything. And then meanwhile, I didn't even realize that this was tucked. So I always check this first, make sure this is the first piece that you put in, quickly look at it, pop the other piece in, and it should be a quickly assemble and disassemble for you. Megan Malagon asked where you can sell it. So sometimes some people are unhappy with it, or maybe they're just done with it and it's a very expensive product. Just join a couple of different groups on Facebook is the best bet for you, or you can use the Facebook Marketplace. But there are breast pump yard sale groups. Just use that wording and search for it in Facebook, and you should be able to find a place to sell it. Rosanna asked about if I guess the suction feels weak to her, or if it feels weak to me. So personally, as far as comparing it to my Medela Freestyle, I do not feel like this is weak at all. And I can see how some people will think it's weak if it's not put together right, if everything is not dry. If everything is dry and put together correctly, you should feel it, because this thing is pretty strong. So just make sure that you've gone through the suction issues. I do have a separate video on that as well. Make sure you watch that. And I think that the suction is pretty powerful. Once I got this home and I tried it, I was very happy that I didn't go with the Willow, because this is plenty strong enough for me. Let me see what else I have here. Okay, so there was tons of questions on sizing and inserts. And I guess the best thing I can say first is make sure that you are checking. Well, first of all, each of these flanges has a little shape on the bottom. You can see this is the square, so this is the biggest one. This is the 27 millimeter. The 24s are what I normally wear. They have a little triangle in the middle, so that's how you tell the different sizes. And I think there's a circle in the 21s that you can buy separately. I think that's the shape that's in that one, but the triangle is the 24 and the square is the 27. These are the two sets that the pump comes with. What you want to do when you want to size yourself in the beginning is put the pump on, assemble it together, and put it on. I like to use a little bit of coconut oil because it just helps with friction. Put it on for about 30 seconds to a minute, okay? And then take it off. Now your nipple should be erect, right? It's not like just trying, it's an easier way to measurement and to get an accurate measurement. Now that you've done that, you can kind of take the pump apart and just place your nipple in there and see where it lines up according to these lines right here. As you could see, if this was a nipple, there is a lot of space on each side of these two black lines, okay? So this is definitely a big flange for that size nipple. Jesus, I guess if you had like this, then it would probably be pretty much a perfect fit. So just make sure that you're sizing yourself after you've started pumping for like 30 seconds, just to kind of make sure that you're getting an accurate measurement. And also be wary of inserts. A lot of people are going to inserts and cushions, and I don't want to discourage you from that. They can be great for comfort. They can be great for in-between sizes, and sometimes you need them. But if you're wanting to get inserts or you're wanting to get cushions because you're thinking that it's going to help your output or help you empty quicker, I guess it can be true for some people. But me personally, when I got the inserts, it didn't really do anything different for me. I went ahead and I measured myself according to the 24 downstairs, and I am like slightly smaller in between the lines. So I went ahead and I ordered the 21 May Mom inserts, and these are soft silicone. I think they're kind of like the Boujon ones, but just a smaller version. And I had to actually cut them and modify them to make sure that they weren't touching the holes on the inside, so that way the air was still coming through for the suction. So I cut the holes and I made it fit, and I used these for a while, and they did work. But honestly, if I'm not using them, or if I am using them on the 24 millimeter flange, it really doesn't make a difference at all, as far as output goes. Comfort, maybe it's a little bit more comfortable, but again, I use the coconut oil, so I don't feel like there was any difference really whatsoever. Not everyone needs inserts or cushions. Just keep that in mind. Let's see what else we have. Oh, and this also coincides with that. Somebody asked me about how it would work with elastic nipples. I would be very wary about using cushions if you have elastic nipples, because then you're actually adding an extra ridge inside of there. And if your nipple is going to come all the way to the end and come back, it's going to catch this ridge over and over again. And I think that could create a lot of irritation and possible bleeding. So I don't think that you should probably use any cushions if you have elastic nipples. Let's see what else. Output difference, suction compared to Medela, which I did say. And as far as hours on the pumps, I think that they're all pretty much the same. I will say that this has a longer warranty, I believe, than my Medela, because I think my Medela is just a 1 year and this is a 2 year on the pump itself. So if you do make this pricey purchase, just go ahead and keep track of it and make sure you remember or have it written down or set a reminder in your phone when you did buy it. So that way, when a year and a half is coming up, you kind of just want to take it out, make sure everything is still working properly. Before that warranty expires, make sure you contact the company if anything is wrong. So that way it's ready for you for a second baby or for extended pumping, whatever the case may be. I feel like I'm missing something on this page. Oh, Myra Gomez asked, what bra do you use? That is another video I have. I will leave a link down below, or I'll put it in this video. I have the ugliest Mrs. Doubtfire bra, pumping bra. Nursing bra is basically what it is. And it is perfect for the Elvie. I absolutely swear by it. I think that staying away from sports bras are a good idea, because a lot of times they're too thin and too flimsy. I think staying away from underwire bras is a good idea, because that can keep your boob to a specific shape, and it might not fit well with the Elvie in there. And being away from something too thin or too thick. So this is basically just like a granny bra. I really have no other way of explaining it. Like I said, check out my pumping bra video, and make sure that you're going up a size or two, like to give room. So this bra is like bigger on me than it should be. I can still wear it all day when I don't have my pumps in, and it looks fine and it's super comfortable. But then when I do have my pumps in, it's enough room. I don't need the bra extenders, and it sits in there nicely. Like I said, I can move around at work doing things and not slowing down at all, and it does not move. I do not get any shifting or anything like that. So I swear by that bra. I think it's Secret Treasures or something from Walmart. It's a great bra. It's ugly as heck, but it's a great bra. Okay. Oh, and then Kate Emily also asked about pump bag suggestions and tips. So my idea for this is, my advice, you're going to have to figure out what your pumping routine is and what your schedule is. If you go to work and you're pumping 4 times at work and you have 4 separate sets of your flanges and your bottles, and you're just doing one-time use, and these can go in an area that's not refrigerated because you're not reusing them on every pump session, then you might not need as big of a cooler portion of your bag. If you are planning on using the same set all day long, like I do, and you need to keep them in the cooler section, then your insulated area of your bag needs to be bigger than your non-insulated, or your area that doesn't get wet, for the cords and your power banks and your pump hubs themselves. So first, figure out your pump routine and what you plan on doing and how often you're planning on pumping, and then kind of lay out all of the items that you're going to take with you, right? You have 2 hubs, you have 2 or maybe 4, or flanges, depending on if you have multiple sets. Same thing with your bottles, your 2 cords that you have. Maybe you have a power bank, or maybe you have an AC adapter that you plug into the wall at work or wherever it is you go. Lay out all of your equipment and take a picture of that, and that'll at least give you an idea of what kind of bag you need. Me personally, I use my diaper bag. It is a pickle petunia bottom Mickey Mouse diaper bag. It's like a big weekender bag. It kind of goes over your shoulder. It's super comfortable to carry around. I absolutely love it. I pull out my diaper stuff during the week, and then in goes my Mickey Mouse cooler, which is a kind of a tall cooler. You can fit the tall 8-ounce bottles inside of it. And in that cooler, I put my flanges and I put my bottles and I put my milk storage in there. 2 different bottles for milk. All of that stays in the cooler portion and it goes right inside my big bag. And then inside my big bag, I carry one of these. Actually, I have 2 of these in there. One has like personal hygiene stuff just because it's easier for me to pull out, like I said, when I use my bag for a diaper bag. So that is my personal, kind of like my personal purse. I pull that out. And then this one is for my extra parts. So this is everything that I carry. Extra flanges, the bigger ones if for some reason I end up like in an emergency and I need to use them. Extra membranes, extra lids, things like that are in here. And the lids to actually store the milk, all of that stuff. So this is where I keep all my extra stuff, and that goes inside my big diaper bag as well. I've seen online, and I will actually make a little Amazon store of all the different pumping bags that I've seen people use, because I've seen them use lunch bags that are all insulated on the inside, and then outside they have pockets where you can fit the hubs and your cords and things like that in there. I've seen people use the travel toiletry unfoldable bags that actually like hang in the shower when you're traveling and you're keeping all of your personal care products in there. And then they have like a spot for each wire, and your bottles and all of that stuff can fit in there. And then I've also seen people use like camera bags that they found off Amazon. So I'll make an Amazon store of all the different types of bags that I've seen people use, and then you can kind of choose based off that. I think that I answered everybody's questions. If there's any new questions, please leave them in the comments below. I'll be happy to do another video or just answer your questions down below. And stay tuned, because I will be making a tips 2 video, this sequel to the first big long video that I did on my Elvie pump as well. That's it for this one. So I guess I'll see you guys next time. Bye.